Hi, you guys. This is Renata. I'm going to attempt to answer an LQ or listener's question regarding a situation that this lady is going through at work. Basically, she is being targeted at work, workplace mobbed, and workplace harassed. And so she left a question in the comment section of one of my videos. So I'm going to attempt to offer any kind of insight I can. Okay, so here is her question. She says, are you considered a TI if you just are not liked at work and a person in middle management just won't leave you alone, always looking for any misstep, trying to set you up in the workplace? Just nitpicking, looking for anything. I definitely know what that's like. She also says, you also see that others are just not treated this way. Okay, so that's discrimination in itself. If you are being treated one way and the other coworkers are not being treated in this manner, then that's discrimination right there. Okay. She goes on to say, don't we just have malignant narcissists at work who are just plain bullies? Yes, there are a lot of narcissists at work. Yes. Um, she says also, this person has pictures of skulls everywhere, even on the door of her office. She says it is a large cutout decorated skull with sequins on it. She put these skulls up last Christmas and has left them up all year, and they are still up. Okay, this is what I want to say about that. Um, I'm pretty sure you guys are aware that we have everything in the workplace. We're dealing with Satanists at work. We're dealing with witches and warlocks and Masons and Ku Klux Klan people and neo Nazis. I mean, you name it. They dress up for work. They have on their business suits, their nice outfits, and they come to work. And they're right there with us. Okay, so yes, I believe that she could possibly be a Satanist. I don't know the lady, but I do know that we work with everybody. Every type of religion, non-religion, all sorts of spirits, they're all there. They're all there. So yes, she could possibly be into something of the dark side. Okay, because they are definitely in the workplace. Okay, she goes on to say, I started having panic attacks whenever she would approach me. I've decided to retire early as of January 31st, 2018. Oh no, that's bad news. Okay, we're gonna come back to that. And she says, just making this decision, I already feel lighter and can breathe. I will be looking for a part-time job to supplement my income. Working in this type of environment is so toxic, it's not even funny. Yes, very toxic environment when you're being workplace harassed and mobbed. This world is just so much evil, so much more evil than before. That is just a fact. You're correct. So she goes on to say, so how can you tell the difference between being an official TI or just being targeted by people who just don't like you, especially in your work environment? Okay. Now, let me try to answer that. How do you tell the difference between being an official TI and or just being targeted by people at work who don't like you? First of all, you have to ask yourself, why don't these people like you? Okay. Do they have a reason not to like you? Have you done anything to these people? Chances are the answer is no. You have not done anything to each and every one of these people. Okay? It's more than likely all tied in. Now, none of us are angels, okay? I'm sure there's probably someone in the workplace who you just don't jive with, you just rather not deal with. Okay, and that's okay because we all have people like that. They're in the workplace and in our families and in the community and wherever that we just our personalities just don't mesh. Okay, that's not a problem. But when you have a lot of people who seem like they don't like you, There is no way that you have a beef with each and every one of those people. So no, they're probably in cahoots. Then you have to remember that a lot of people go along to get along. So in other words, if they see that the boss doesn't like you or is acting, treating you that way, then they're going to avoid you like the plague because people would rather be in than out. You know what I'm saying? They rather be with the in crowd than be on the outs. So that's probably why you feel that people don't like you. These people do not have a legitimate reason not to like you. I experienced the same thing. I experienced that too. People just start to avoid you because it is set up to look like you are the problem. Although you're not the problem. The problem is this lady is targeting you. Now, how do you know the difference between being an official target, like many of us are, or is this just an isolated situation with your workplace? Well, it may take time to tell because if you are an official target, this is going to follow you on the outside. This is not only going to happen in the workplace, this is going to happen when you get home, and not this particular thing with this lady, but you will experience targeting in your personal life outside of work. Now, because these skulls that this lady uses in her office and on her door and all of that, because that affects you, and they know that this affects you, if you are truly targeted, you will probably begin to see some kind of symbolism with skulls on the outside. You might see them hanging in somebody's car window, or somebody have skulls on their shirts or on their hats. You will probably see that theme play out because that theme causes you anxiety. Those skulls, okay? Hopefully not. Hopefully this is just in the workplace. I mean, I'm sorry it's even happening in the workplace. But if we can keep it isolated to the workplace, that would be beautiful because then you can move on, go on with your life, get another job, and you won't have to deal with it again. However, if it is truly targeting, when you get to your next job, because you said you're going to look for a part-time job, so when you get to your next job, you will probably start to notice the same types of things again. Now, it may not be the skulls, they may drop that theme, but you may notice that the coworkers are cold, that they start to shun you, just like they do at this current job, that the supervisor starts to target you, just like this supervisor is doing, maybe in a different manner, but it's, workplace harassment just the same. So it may take time. Like you said, you're going to try to go to another job. So it may take time for you to see if there's anything happening at the next job. And that way you'll be able to connect the two, and you'll know that it just didn't happen over there, but now it's happening over here. One thing I don't want you to do is to internalize it and feel like it's you, because it's not you. She's bullying you for a reason. For whatever reason is not justifiable, but she is bullying you. So please don't feel like it's you, because I used to feel like it was me, because I went through and still go through the same types of things, the shunning and things. You have to ignore that. You have to be okay. As my mom used to say, with your own self company, okay? With your own self company. That means by yourself. If that's what it comes down to, we cannot be desperate for friends. We cannot feel like, okay, I'm not invited to this, or the coworkers are not asking me to lunch. You have to be okay with that. Find something to do to occupy your lunch. If they don't want to talk with you during the day at work and talk to you around the water cooler and around the coffee machine, that's fine. Just keep it work related. That's what you're there for anyway. You were hired to do a job. That's what I used to tell myself. I'm hired to do a job, and I'm going to do the best I can do under these under this situation, because like you said, the environment is hostile, and that's what happens when a person is workplace harassed. It's a very hostile environment, and it affects your work product. because you're all stressed out. You're constantly stressed out because they're keeping you under stress. So it's hard to function in an environment like that. Your work may be sabotaged. My work used to be sabotaged all the time. If I had a question, no one would answer my question. I could not get help. That was real hard. But you know what? Don't shy away from that. Go ahead, go through it, because I'm going to tell you, in the end, it is refining you. It is refining you. Because I was not given the adequate support that I needed in my last job, I was forced to learn how to think on my feet. And so now, in this current temporary position that I'm in, I got it all together. I don't need very much help. I've learned the art of figuring things out. You know why? Because I had to figure things out. I had to, just to keep up with my work, because I was not getting help. So don't run from the challenge. Go ahead and go through it, because you'll see on your next job, you're going to be that much wiser, that much smarter, and you're going to be ahead of the game because you were forced to be ahead of the game. So actually, this targeting helps. It helps us, really. It really does. Um, okay, so where was I? Okay, so you said that she puts up the skulls and she keeps them up, and that you began to have panic attacks. And those panic attacks, they are very serious. They are very serious. I had them too. But I want you to know that a panic attack will not kill you. It feels like it's going to kill you. I used to feel like I was going to pass out and die. My whole body would be sweating, and I'm not a person that sweats very much, but when I would have these panic attacks, I couldn't breathe. um my whole body would sweat. I'd be nervous. I would even lash out in anger because I didn't know what to do with those emotions. I didn't even know it was a panic attack until the doctor told me. I had to go to the doctor. It was that serious. And I, like you, took time off work because they gave me a nervous breakdown. They gave me a nervous breakdown. That was before I knew about targeting. I didn't know what the heck. Why are these coworkers changing and turning, and the supervisors acting funny, and it was bad. Let me tell you when I knew. When I knew that I was dealing with something serious in the workplace. First of all, they had so many people in the building following me. Not only my department, the people in the cafeteria, the janitorial staff, you name it, the HR staff, you name it. They were following me around the building and outside of the building on my lunch break. It was terrible. I didn't know. I just didn't know. Okay. Now, when I knew that this was really, really serious, like something is so strange going on in my office. One day, I don't know if I was drinking water or eating. So I think I was drinking water because I drink water throughout the day at work. And I think I swallowed wrong and I choked really bad. I didn't just choke, I choked. Okay. I choked to the point where I had to get on my knees. My eyes were watering and I choked. It was really bad. And it went on for, it felt like 10 minutes to me. It was probably, I don't know, 3 to 5 minutes. It was a long time. I couldn't catch my breath. I was gagging like I was going to throw up. I was on my knees. And do you know, not one of my coworkers came to help me? None. For some reason, that did it for me. Like that turned a light on in my head, like, wow, these people would really let me die. Not that I was going to die, but I felt like I was going to die because I was choking terrible. I've never seen anybody choke the way I choked that day. Not one of them. And I'm sure the entire floor heard me. There were people sitting close to me. Nobody said, "Are you okay?" Nobody came to see about me. Nothing. And that let me know I'm dealing with something real serious here. If you could sit here and watch another human being choke, suffer, you don't know if I'm having a seizure, you don't really know what's going on. And you just keep your head down and keep working, that's scary. That's when I knew like this place is demonic. Like to me that's demonic. Anyway, so I know what you mean about the anxiety because I definitely went through it. Um, and then you said that you start to have the panic attacks. Oh, that's what I was trying to say. You will not die from panic attacks. You can learn to manage them. You can definitely learn to manage panic attacks, okay? And I'm glad your doctor knows about this, and hopefully she'll give you some tools that will help you. I personally chose not to do it with medication because I'm not a medication type of person unless I really need it. And when I went out, because they stressed me out so bad, when I went out, I was out about 3 to 4 months, I think. And by the time I came back to work, that's when I had discovered this whole targeting thing. That's when I discovered the community. And I went back stronger and I went back with a new attitude. Like, okay, now I know what this is. Now I know why they're acting that way. Now I know why they're treating me that way. And now I know how to deal with it. So I began to get stronger and stronger. And that's what you need to do while you're out. Okay. And I'm going to tell you a few things that might help you. Okay. So you said that just the sight of your supervisor just causes you a panic attack. And so you decided to retire as of January 31st. We got to talk about that. I'm going to save that to the end. Okay. And you said just making that decision that you feel lighter and you can breathe. And you're going to look for a part-time job to supplement your income. Okay, you says working in this type of environment is so toxic that it's not even funny. Yes, it is toxic, but you don't have to take that on. Let that be their issue. You don't have to take that on. Okay, this world is just much evil, so much more evil than before. Yes, it is. And that's when you ask how to know the difference. Okay, again, with discovering whether or not you are truly a full blown, I'm gonna call it full blown targeted individual, or if this is isolated, again, you will begin to see strange happenings in your private life. Just the way you discovered something strange was going on at work, you will discover something strange is going on at home in your personal life. Okay, hopefully you don't. Hopefully it's just at work. Okay, this has been going on for years at work ever since she came on board, which is the supervisor. She sneaks up behind me to see if I'm listening to music or reading on my phone. If I talk to someone for 2 minutes, she comes up to me and says, "Get back to work." I'm the only one she does that to. Again, that's discrimination right there. People have even said that they can't believe the way she treats you. The way she treats you. Okay. Now, the fact that other people are noticing this and they're noticing that she's discriminating against you and that she's treating you different than she's treating the rest of them, in a way, that's good for you because hopefully you will have witnesses to the fact that she is targeting you and she's discriminating against you. Okay, you can probably file a claim. Well, we're going to talk about that too. Okay, you said I've talked to her one on one and flat out asked her why is she targeting me, and she just denied, 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 and that's what they do. Deny everything, deny everything. They're never going to admit it, no matter what. They're not going to admit it. Okay, even though I got the earliest retirement date I could, January 31st, 2018, I have not been able to go into work. I started going I start going into panic mode and actually feel sick. Yes, it can make you feel sick. You're dealing with it sounds like an advanced case of anxiety. You said I'm losing money big time. I've talked to my doctor. She is writing sick excuses for me. At least you have a doctor that's willing to take you out, so that's good. This place is so toxic, and I think she is some kind of satanic worshiper. She knows I'm a Christian. Now, if she is a satanic worshiper, then that's what she is. Don't focus on that. Focus on who you are. You say you're a Christian. I'm telling you, we work with everybody. We work with, I don't care how nice these people seem at work. I don't care how fancy they dress up. A lot of these people are satanic in one way or another. But guess what? Don't focus on that. Focus on you. You're a Christian, and that's greater than any Satanist will ever be. So don't worry about that. Do not worry about her. Come against that. When you pray, you come against all that demonic stuff in that office and go on to work. Don't worry about none of that. Because no weapons formed against you is going to prosper. It's not. And you just need to quote those scriptures. Okay. You says I'm not a Bible thumper, but everyone knows he, meaning God, is number one in my life because he has gotten me through so much. Amen. He's going to continue to get you through it. I'm also a sexual abuse victim slash survivor, she says, from my father, who was a local politician and secret Freemason in the Catholic Church. Okay, I'm sorry to hear that. But I disowned my entire family of origin over 20 years ago. I have nothing to do with anyone, not a phone call, nothing. Oh, that's sad. But hey, that's the decision you had to make for yourself, so I understand. Okay. All right, so that's the end of her comment. Now, I've already given you some feedback. So I want to say that I do understand what you're saying about the hostile work environment. That makes it so very, very, very hard to get out of bed and go to work in the morning. It really does, knowing that you're going to face all of this abuse in the workplace, and this shouldn't happen. It really shouldn't happen. And as I said, it affects your work. It's hard to do a good job on your work when you're dealing with this kind of environment. It's like you're set up to lose. It's a no-win situation. That's what it feels like. But I'm telling you, I believe that there's a lesson in everything. And some good is going to come out of everything because the Bible says the good and the bad is going to work together for our good. And so just trust the process. That's all I can say to you because the strength that I have now, most of it came from that abusive work environment. I didn't like it. I hated it. As a matter of fact, I hated going to work. I literally hated going to work. And like I said, they broke me all the way down. Actually, when I think back, I think they broke me down twice. But I took that leave of absence, that family medical leave. I took that once. That was the worst breakdown. But during that time is when I discovered that I was a targeted individual. So you're trying to figure out if you're, all the way targeted or if it's just the workplace. Don't focus too much on that because it'll show itself. If you're targeted, that's one thing about it. It will rear its ugly head. Okay, so you don't have to go looking for it. Hopefully you're not all the way targeted. Hopefully it's just there. Um, Hopefully you are going to some sort of therapy. I know therapy is not popular in the TI community, but if you need it, you need it. I had some. Actually, I believe in it. I wish I had a therapist now, but I don't want to deal with that at this point in my life. I really don't. Because I had a good one and they ran her off. But I believe in therapy, me personally. I don't feel like we have to go in there talking about, oh, I'm a targeted individual and direct the energy. I don't think we need to do all that. Just talk about what's happening at work. Maybe they can give you some tools that will really, really help you. Now, this is what I want to say. I want to ask you to do the entire TI community a favor. You said that your last day will be, I think you said January 31st. You're going to take early retirement. What that says to me is that you are allowing them, and I can't say I blame you because it's a lot to deal with when you're being targeted by all those people. You're being mobbed at work. That's more than one person. You're dealing with all of this shunning and this lady bullying you and this satanic stuff she has going on there. However, if you could do us a favor, because there are so many targets who were pushed out of their jobs. Okay, they were forced out because they went through a very similar situation that you're going through. They were targeted, they were mobbed, they were harassed in the workplace. And so they quit because they couldn't take it anymore. Some of them knew that they were targeted and they knew that they were workplace harassed, but some didn't. And some look back now and say, oh, that's what was going on. Just like I discovered later, some people discover later. They don't know anything about workplace mobbing, workplace harassment, targeted individual. I didn't know anything about that, okay? So people look back and they realize that these people forced them out of their jobs. They were bullied out of their jobs, I should say. They no longer have the income that they need to sustain their lifestyle, pay their rent. A lot of people are homeless now because they were forced out of their job. So do the entire TI community a favor and stay on your job. Stay on your job. Another reason why I would like to suggest that is because obviously you still need an income, because you said that you are going to find a part-time job to supplement your income. So you still need your job. Do not let this bully force you out of your job, because that is exactly what's happening. Okay? I hope that you take my advice on that. I really do. Because you're going to see that when you go back, you are much stronger than you were when you left. And you're much wiser and you'll know how to deal with this. Okay? There are some things that could probably help you to become your strongest self. Some of the things that I did once I discovered. Okay, number one, I don't know if you're out on disability. I don't know what form of income you have right now. However, you can check with your medical plan to see if they offer a free gym membership, because many plans do. Okay, disability may offer that to you. Your doctor may, all she may need to do is write your prescription, and you may be able to get a gym membership. Okay, if that's the case and you don't have to pay very much for it, or if it's free, please join the gym. Go to the gym several times a week, if not every day. 2 or 3 times a week should do. Join the spin class, do water aerobics, swim, get on the treadmill, whatever. Okay, that's going to help you to release some of the negative energy, number one, but it's also going to release endorphins in your brain, which is that feel good gene. Okay, so this is you doing self care, taking care of yourself. You have to take care of yourself before you go back there, so that you, or even to the next job, so that you will be your strongest self. You'll be ready to deal with people like that. Okay, you really need to do some sort of exercise. If you don't go to a gym, if your health plan does not pay for it, then um, do something on the outside. Walk, um, I don't know, play tennis, whatever you do that will give you some cardio exercise. Please do that, because during this time while you're off, you need some rest, of course, because you definitely need a break from all of that. But you need to get active at the same time. So take a little time, get some rest, and then go ahead and get active, because I'm telling you, you need to be strong when you go back there. They need to see a whole nother person. And let me tell you something about bullies. The best defense for bullies is to stand up to them and be strong. Don't let them see you be weak. One of my bosses broke me down several times and I cried, and I'm not the type of person that will cry in front of somebody. I was in tears several times. Okay, that last time I said, this will be the last time. I will not do this again. No, not here. I'm not going to do that again. So be your strongest you. When you go back with your head up and your shoulders back and very confident. And all that's going to come from you taking care of yourself while you're out. So thank God he allowed you this amount of time to kind of work this situation out and take that much needed break. Okay, take some time to reflect on all the things that happened at work and just kind of replay some of it, not all of it, because you don't want to traumatize yourself, but some of it back and figure out how you're going to deal with that. If you go back into that same situation, because I will tell you something, and this is just me being honest, when I went back, it got worse. It got worse. You know why? Because they didn't want me to come back. They wanted me to take that same approach that you're taking. They wanted me to leave. They were trying to force me out when I had that breakdown. But I came back. And when I came back, it made them mad and it got 10 times worse. But I was more equipped to deal with it because I was a much stronger me. It was still hard, don't get me wrong, but it was better in some ways for me because I knew what I was dealing with when I went back. When I went back, I was like, okay, now I know what this is. This is workplace harassment. I had time to do my research. And that's another thing. Do some research, look at some videos on workplace harassment, look at some solutions, not just the problem, because we know what the problem is, but look for some solutions and some healthy ways of dealing with it. Okay, what else did I want to say? I really, really, really hope, and of course, keep your prayer life very, very strong. I used to walk through there and just plead the blood of Jesus on every ounce of that building that I walked. I would just plead the blood and just ask the Lord to keep me strong throughout the day. I could tell you some stories. Look back on some of my videos. It was horrible. It was horrible. I got physically assaulted at work more than once. Kicked under the table at a meeting with about 50 people. That happened twice. No, three times. That happened three times. It was whew. There is a God. Let me put it to you like that. There definitely is a God. Okay. It was something else I wanted to tell you. Oh, I wanted to tell you that you just may have a legitimate claim against this lady. Let me tell you what constitutes workplace bullying, harassment, and discrimination. And this is according to MSJD.org. Okay, and I will put the link to this website in the description box so you can research this yourself. But age, sex, disability, gender, marriage, and civil partnership, pregnancy and maternity, race, religion or belief, and sexual orientation. Any type of discrimination surrounding any of those categories is considered workplace bullying, discrimination, and or harassment. Okay, so I'm thinking for you, since they are trying to push you out. I don't know if people know, but a lot of people, and you did not say your age, but you said that you're taking early retirement, so that tells me you're at least in your 50s, okay, if not beyond. um, a lot of people who are nearing retirement, they get discriminated against because they want to force them out. It happens a lot. This ageism, it happens a lot. And so that could be what's going on. I'm not sure because you didn't give all those details. Also, you said that you believe that she's a Satanist. She may not be, but you believe that she is, and she is aware that you're a Christian. She could be discriminating against your religious beliefs. Okay, so you just may have a claim. You might want to go through the EEOC. Now, from what I understand with them, you can file a claim of discrimination. Then they would have to give you a letter that's called a right to sue letter, and that is after they've done their investigation. Now, most of the time, they come back and say we didn't find anything because we know that they all work together, right? So They will probably come back with a letter to say, nope, we don't find that she discriminated against you at all. That's okay. All you need is that letter. You can take that letter that they'll give you and get you an attorney. Because I do believe that this lady is discriminating against you, probably because of your age and probably because of your religious beliefs. Because most Satanists, I ain't gonna say all, most Satanists are not too fond of Christians. Okay? And you said that other people see this. And so that's good for you. If you can get any of them to be a witness for you, that'd be beautiful. But we know most of them probably won't because they'll continue to work there. But the bottom line is this: I really hope that you reconsider quitting your job because they're pushing you out, but you don't have to allow that. Okay. Now, just because you have probably completed the paperwork to go ahead and retire this coming January does not mean that you have to retire. You probably have a window where you can rescind on that and let them know that, you know what, I'm feeling a little bit better now, and I think that I can go ahead and stay. I wish to withdraw my retirement. Challenge yourself. That's one thing in this community. We are afraid of challenges. Do you know that challenges is how you grow? We've got to challenge ourselves. We've got to start standing up to these bullies. We cannot let these people do what they're doing to us. Send a clear message. You can do whatever you feel like you need to do, but I am documenting everything, and you should be. I am, and don't tell them this, but I'm documenting everything, and I'm coming to work. That's what I used to tell myself. I'm going to work because they're not going to get a paycheck, and I'm not because I have bills to pay. This is our livelihood. We don't want to work, but we have to work. That's how this satanic system is set up. We have to work. We need money. Obviously, you need the money. If you're going to get a part-time job, do the community a favor and stand up for those in the community who didn't know that they were targeted. Therefore, they were pushed out. And the decision is yours. That's just a suggestion, but the decision is ultimately yours. But even if you don't, even if you decide, nope, I'm going to go ahead, I'm going to go on to another job, okay? Just know that you will probably be targeted there too. So I always tell myself I might as well deal with the fools that I already know than to get some new fools. That's what I tell myself. So I just rather just stay there and deal with that. If I had not gotten laid off, I would still be there because I had already made up in my mind that's the only way they're gonna get rid of me is to lay me off. And they had to lay 100 people off to lay me off. Okay, so we all went out together. The whole department got shut down. That's how it had to be because I wasn't going anywhere. At one point, I felt like you. I'm just going. I'm going. But then once I discovered that, I was like, nah. Once I discovered I was a targeted individual, no, I'm not gonna let them push me out like that. It's not gonna happen. And just document everything. Now, even if you decide, nope, I'm gonna go ahead and retire, then just do us a favor. Call HR, your HR department, and say to them, you I know that I put in my forms to retire, but I'm thinking about withdrawing that. What is the process? Just find out the process. Find out your rights. Find out if I decide to withdraw my application for retirement, what would that look like? How would that be? Am I able to do that? Is there any penalties for that? Just find out. Ask questions. Ruffle their feathers. Okay? Ruffle their feathers. Even if you decide not to, give them something to think about. Yeah, she's coming back. Now what we gonna do? Oh my goodness, what's plan B? Shake them up a little bit. Even if you decide not to do it, just make them think you coming back. Make them think that you're thinking about coming back. Ask them what's the deadline? What's the deadline I have to withdraw my application? Just do that for those of us who were not strong enough to hold on to our jobs or didn't know that we could, file claims and things like that, do that for the community and do it for yourself. She does not have a right to push you out of your job. Challenge yourself. Challenge yourself. I'm telling you. Because chances are you're going to go somewhere and not make as much. If you are eligible for retirement, you must have been at this place for a while. So let her leave. Pray her out the way. My mother used to tell me that. Just pray them on out the way, and the Lord will remove them. And sure enough, He will remove them one by one. There was one used to give me a terrible time. Oh my Lord! I prayed him right on out the way. Next thing you know, they fired him. He was a person that everybody thought would end up running the company. They fired him. Okay, that's what God will do. He'll take care of them. Don't worry about it. You go to work. You deserve to work, especially if you like your job. If you like the work, now I'm just talking about the work. You like your job. I'm not talking about the environment and all the stress that it brings and the hostility. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about your job. If that's something you enjoy doing, why should they push you out? Or here's another option. If you decide to leave, let's just say they say, well, legally, we can't make you retire. So you say, okay, well, I'm going to give it a chance. I'm going to come back. Okay. And you decide, nah, I really, really don't like it here. Then take the time you need to find the next job that you want to be in. Not you be unemployed and then forced to take just about anything because you're falling on hard times. Because let me tell you, I haven't had a permanent job in December 31st. It'll be a year. It's not easy not knowing how you're going to get your next check. And I have a spouse. I don't know if you do or not, but if you're alone, it's even that much harder. But again, I don't know your situation, but it's not easy. It's not easy. They could tell me when I go in there Monday, today's your last day. And I'm an older person. And let me tell you, when you're older, it's even harder to find a job. And then you throw in this targeting, and it's even harder. So if you decide to go back, which I really hope you challenge yourself to go back, you there a couple weeks, you decide, this is not for me. Then look for a job. Just secretly look for a job. You don't have to tell them. Look for a job. Time for an interview. I have a doctor's appointment coming up, such and such a date. I'll be in late. Go ahead and go on the interview. That way, you're taking your time to find something that's a match for you. It's easier to find a job when you have a job. Trust me. I'm in a situation where I don't have a job, so I know it is much easier for you to find one when you already have one. So you clearly see what they're doing. They are discriminating against you. Only you will really know the reason because you didn't go into all of that. But I'm thinking it's either age or it's your religion. Okay? So you clearly know that that is happening. Whether or not you are an official targeted individual, that has yet to be seen. Hopefully not, prayerfully not. But I would strongly suggest that you find out what your options are for withdrawing your retirement. And just go in there and, hey, I'm back. Go in there with a new attitude, a new understanding. Because now you have an understanding. It doesn't matter who doesn't speak to you. It doesn't matter who shuns you. It doesn't even matter who helps you and who don't. Trust me, you will learn to think on your feet like I did. You will. Don't worry about her with her skulls. Let her have skulls wherever she want to have skulls, because that's her religion. Your religion is Christianity. Hers is more than likely Satanism. Hey, it is what it is. That don't have nothing to do with you. I'm telling you, we have to change our attitudes on a lot of things. We have to change. I shouldn't say attitudes. We have to change our outlooks on a lot of things. That has nothing to do with you. When I see stuff like that, I'm like that. That's their business. I know who I serve, and I guess she knows who she serves. And amen. Nothing I can do about that, because I'm here to work. That's what I used to tell myself. I'm here to do my work and get on out of here. 4 o'clock, I'm out. That's how I look at it. I can't worry about who's speaking, who don't. I'm not here to socialize. It would be nice, but that ain't what I was hired for. I was hired to do a job. And that's how you have to look at it. They want to walk around gossiping and saying this and saying that. They don't know you. That's what I tell myself. They don't know me. They do not know me. So, whatever. If you want to believe something you heard, then okay. That's what it is. Nothing you can do about that. Okay, so I have carried on long enough. Long enough. Oh, 45 minutes. Okay. I hope this helps. I really, 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 really hope you reconsider leaving your job that you obviously really do need. You need your job. Don't let them force you out. Let her leave. If she's not happy, let her leave. Let her leave. Okay? And all those people who are not speaking to you and shunning you and acting like you've done something wrong, which you have not, then forget them. Go there and work. If you have to talk to them about business, then talk to them about business. Other than that, don't worry about it. On your lunch break, go take a walk or something. That's what I used to do, and they would follow me on the walk. Go take a walk. Don't worry about that. Okay? Oh, let me give you one more indicator. If the people in the community, because where I used to work, there were apartment complexes around and businesses and stores and restaurants and all that. If those people start targeting you and they have nothing, no connection to your job, then yes, you are a targeted individual, because that's what was happening to me. The entire community, the sheriffs, the bus drivers, the people at the store. Yeah, then you will know that you are probably targeted. Okay, I hope this helps. Sorry it was so long.